Hi there and welcome back. So in this video we are going to discuss that how we can actually simplify a given boolean expression with the help of k-maps. Okay, let's just have a look. So first of all, this is my equation, that is function of a, b, c. Now why I am writing f? Because this is a function, this is an expression. Okay, usually whenever we are going to solve our boolean expression with the help of k-maps, we are not provided with these two equations. Okay, I have written these two equations just in order to make you understand the things. Okay, so whenever you will get this type of question where you have to solve a boolean expression with the help of k-map, you will be directly given this line, that is sigma, and inside sigma you are given the terms which are present in that boolean expression. Okay, I have just written these so that you can understand how this is going to work. Okay, so first of all, what I have written, that see, 7 is going to represent a term where all the three terms are going to be 1. They are going to be represented as 1. Okay, here I have written a note that 1 is going to represent a number and 0 is going to represent a complement of that number. Okay, so if I have written 6, which means a term that is 110, and that would be represented by, where a is going to be 1, b is going to be 1, c is 0, that means c complement is there. Next is a complement, next is the term 3, that would be represented by binary number 0, 1, 1. So 0, which means a complement, and b and c are going to be 1. Okay, next the term is 1, which means 0, 0, 1. So we are going to represent that with a complement, b complement, c. Okay, so now just have a look at this fact that if you don't know how to convert your binary number into decimal and vice versa, you can refer to my other videos as well if you want to learn that how you can convert from binary number system to decimal or vice versa. Okay, now let's just draw the k-map. Okay, let's just draw actually the table. How many number of cells are going to be in my table? We have already discussed in our previous video, that is 2 raised to power n. Now n is 3, number of terms are 3, so there are total cells are going to be, that is again my choice, that I am going to take 2 rows or 4 rows. Okay, that is entirely user's choice. So I am going to take 2 rows, that means on vertical side I am going to represent a single entity, that is A, and horizontal side I am going to represent a double entity, that is BC. Again, A can have an input 0 or it can have an input 1. B and C both could be 0, B could be 0, C could be 1, B, C both could be 1, 1, or B could be 1, C could be 0. Okay, I have already told you in the previous videos that you can interchange these numbers. Okay, correspondingly your cell representation number would get changed. It's not fixed that every time I need to take 0, 0, 0. That is your choice. But if you are changing this, your cell which is going to represent those combination, that is going to get changed correspondingly. Okay, and next we are going to represent these cell entries. That means this cell is going to represent a number 0. This cell will represent a number 1. This will represent a number 3. If you are not getting that how this cell representation numbers are coming, please go through my previous video. Okay, so that you can understand how this is coming. Okay, after that, now we are going to put 1 in that cell which entry is present in my expression. For example, I have 7 in my expression, so I am going to write 1 wherever cell, whatever cell is represented by number 7, I am going to write 1. Okay, next, whatever cell is representing a number 6, I am going to write 1. Whatever cell is going to represent a number 3, I am going to write 1, and 1, I am going to write 1. So I have written all 4 ones. Okay, now I am going to combine these cells and I am going to make a block of those cells. How that combining process is going to take place, that you need to understand. I am going to make a block, make a square block. How I am going to cover as many as ones possible. In one single block, I'll try to cover all the ones that are possible. But there is one condition, that the one cell should be consecutive. I cannot do like this. Okay, let's just combine 1, 3, 5, 7. No, why? Because 5 is blank. 5 don't have any entry, so I cannot include that in my block. Okay, similarly, I cannot combine 3, 7, 6, 2. No, why? Because 2 is a blank entry. I cannot do that. Okay, so I need to form a block. I need to combine the cells, but I can combine only those cells which are having entry 1. Okay, so like first of all, I can combine this 1 and 3 cell. How? I am going to combine this 1 and this is the first block I had made. Okay, in this block, now just have a look carefully. Now in this block, for this block, that is for 1 and 3, a entity is constant. For 1 it is giving 0, for 3 it is also giving 0, which means a is constant. Okay, now out of B and C, B is fluctuating. For cell number 1, B input is 0, but for the cell number 3, B input is 1. Similarly, for cell number 1, C input is 1, and for cell number 3, C's input is again 1, which means A and C are constant. And while simplifying the expression, we need to look at the constant entities. Okay, we need to look at the numbers at the variables which are constant for that particular block. Okay, for this block A and C are constant. Now there is one more point, that for both 1 and 3, A input is 0, and we have already written here that 0 is going to be represented by the complement. So I am going to write down A complement C for this block. This block is going to be represented by A complement, which means A input is constant, but that is 0, and C, which means C is also constant, but since value of C is 1, so I am going to write C here. Okay, this is the one expression. Now coming on to the next block, so I have made a block of 7 and 6. Okay, when I form a block of 7 and 6, again A is constant. If you can just have a look, A is constant, but this time A is represented as an input 1. Okay, and here B is constant, that is for the cell number 7, B input is 1, and for the cell number 6, B input is 1. But C is not constant. For the cell number 7, C input is 1, but for the cell number 6, C input is 0. So C is not constant. So that means what terms I do have? I have A and B. Okay, so I have A and B. This is the simplified expression, and this is known as sum of product. I have multiplied my terms and then I have added. Okay, that you could have understood when I have represented my terms as sigma, because sigma represents min terms. Okay, similarly, if you talk about max terms, that is POS, then you need to perform addition first and then multiplication. Okay, now there comes a question in my mind that we can also combine this 3 and 7. We can combine these two cells because these were consecutive, plus these were the 1 entries, these were the present cells. Yes, we can do that, but now since we have already covered these ones, so we are not going to deal with this. Okay, because we have already covered. Suppose if this 6 is not present in my equation, then I could have combined my cell like this. I could have combined 1, 3 and 3, 7. But now this 3 is already been covered, this 7 is already been covered. So I am not going to take again this block. We can do this, that is why I have shown the dotted line. Yes, we can do this, but we are not going to take this. Okay, so this is your K map of 3 variable. In the next video, I am going to discuss with you the K map of 4 variable. Okay, let's just meet in the next video. Bye-bye.